Welcome to Dreams of Wings and welcome here to North Connell Oban Airport, where we are going to be conducting the second test flight of my new toy for the sim. This is the wonderful VPC Rotor TCS Plus base with the Hawk-60 grip. I've been wanting to get a collective for some time now, and I finally went out and got it in the Black Friday sales, and it's a lovely piece of kit. I love helicopters. I'm not an expert. This isn't a tutorial. In fact, a huge shout out to Balatu42, who's got a great YouTube channel. He's also a real world helicopter pilot, and he was really helpful in setting up the throttle element of this particular piece of hardware. So big thanks to him. It's a wonderful community, isn't it? Lots of people here who are willing to help. Love it to bits. Anyway, we're going to be taking the 500E for this flight. This is not a tutorial. I am not an expert. Mistakes will be made, but let's get cracking. Right, okay, well, here we are. This is really exciting for me. This is the second flight I have done with the collective. I did a quick test flight earlier on because I was having some difficulty getting a few things set up. So this is the first, and this is the first proper flight where we're actually going to go somewhere and try and practice a few things. So yeah, really excited about this. First off, bit like with the H225. Until the engine seems to be running, the collective lever doesn't seem to do anything. I think that's a 2024 kind of weird thing. All the other controls I can see are all tickety-boo. So that's absolutely fine. Right, so let's get some power on. And we'll have the anti-collisions on. Precision lights on. At this stage also I'm going to put the landing light on. I haven't bound that to the collective yet, but I will do once I've figured out the best way of doing that. Start pump on. That's all good. Quick look over here. Generator on. Happy with that. And this is where it gets really cool. So looking down at the collective here, and I'll try and move over so I can you can get a clear view of it. The start switch on the collective in the 500E is on the bottom of the collective lever, so you can't actually see it. On my Virpil collective, I've got it here, so it's this button here, so this switch. So what I'm going to do is, let's just have a quick look over here. That's all good. I'm going to twist the throttle to the detent, press the button, and there we go. That is now in the cut-off position. So what I'm going to do now is move over here, and let's make sure I can get everything in the shot, and let's start her up. All looking good. I just noticed the engine cut light was on. I just needed to advance the throttle just a little bit more, and that dealt with that, but she started okay. Okay, all good. We're not going to be using the GPSs. I normally use the GTN 750, the TDS GTN XI 750, but that isn't quite ready for Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 just yet, so we'll ignore that. And as I say, not going to be using this, so we'll leave those in that position. Okay, so let's wind the throttle out all the way now. There we go. So we have got full throttle. Okay, let's do it. So one of the things I have found is that I have to get in the zone with it. I'm so used to using a little throttle lever here to do the collective that now using this lever I'm still it's that kind of muscle memory that I need to get. So let's see if we can make this not quite too disastrous. Just trying to find that sweet spot. One of the reasons I've chosen the 500E is because it has got that kind of throttle setup that I can match with the Virpil unit, and also because it's quite a sprightly helicopter. Something I'm noticing in 2024, and this maybe it's just not how I remember it, but the cockpit scratches and things seem to be a little bit more obvious than they were before. Okay, let's get going. One of the really interesting things about flying with the collective, and it's something that people always used to say, is the extra control that you get, or that you feel you've got. And I got to say, I totally agree with that. It actually, even after a short time, feels very strange, the idea of flying with the tiny little throttle lever. There's something very immersive about using a proper collective control, and it just kind of makes sense, but it's just getting the muscle memory sorted out. I noticed when I tried to land on the first flight that I did before, at a critical moment when I was manoeuvring, instead of pushing the lever down to go down, I pulled up, and I think that comes from using the throttle lever, where my throttle lever was pulled back to go down, push forward to increase collective. So yeah, it's just getting used to funny little things like that, but it's fantastic having this collective lever. It just feels right, and it's great also having all these extra buttons now. Once the H145 is fully sorted for 2024, you can fly it, and I haven't flown it yet, but you can fly it in 2024. I haven't tested it yet. I think there's a couple of things and a couple of minor things that aren't quite there, but you can fly it. You can also fly the missions. Once I've got that all set up and got all my bindings done, because the H145 is a lot of bindings, whatever it is. There's a lot of those that need setting up, so I'll need to do that, and that's going to take some time. And time is something I don't seem to have a lot of at the moment for the sim, unfortunately. I seem to be having to do a lot of other stuff. I love the detail in 2024 though. The extra detail of that shoreline. Fantastic. One of the other strange things about the 55E in this flight sim so far is that I cannot seem to get the pilot figure to appear. I can get the passenger pilot to appear and also the co-pilot, but the passenger pilot, add the weight and he still doesn't appear, so not quite sure what that's about. Oh, start pump, I left that on, let's have that off. Let's have the pitot heater on. Too excited to get flying with the old collective. By the way, this isn't a tutorial if you haven't guessed already, and when I do make mistakes I do try it and point them out. And I'm half expecting somebody, yes you, have already put a comment down below saying, oh, you left the start pump on. I just noticed the detail of the track there, that was absolutely gorgeous. So this is Lochetiv, so we're just going to toot along here. Just messing about in the cruise at the moment, I'm not using trim. Just as I'm not really flying straight and level, as it were. Absolutely beautiful scenery. There are some odd colours in the Highlands. I flew up round the Cairngorms. It was the first place I went to, and if you follow the channel you'll be thinking that's predictable. And there was some very odd ground colouring where the shadow was on the mountainside, the baked in shadow with the photo scenery. The ground was almost like a cobalt blue. Very odd. Well, we're not really testing much of the collective at the moment, are we? Because I'm just tooting around, so I'm getting distracted chatting to you and also looking at the scenery, which is absolutely gorgeous. I've set the weather to few clouds. The weather up here today isn't particularly great. When I did the test flight earlier, I flew live weather and it was very moody, which was kind of cool, but it wasn't great for looking at scenery. I have to say, it's my sim is also behaving really well. I've not flown it for almost 2 weeks. I completely reinstalled it today because I had seen a video that I think it was Overkill. Overkill Simulations saying that you should now is a good time to reinstall 2024 because they've fixed a few things that you can really benefit with by reinstalling. So I've done that, and yeah, it seems to be doing pretty well. I cheated with the time as well. I went back to the summer. I thought, why not? I mean, the detail is just incredible, isn't it? Hopefully you're kind of picking this up, but just scooting along the coastline there, and there's the grass, there's the rocks, there's all these extra bits that they've now put into the sim to make it more realistic. It's pretty cool. Right, so where are we? Really do need to do more of a test of this collective, so I'm just looking for somewhere interesting that we can I was actually hoping for a bit of a beach. I've got a map, got a little nav map open over there, but unfortunately it's zoomed out so that I can't quite see too much, and that we've got a lot of trees, and that beach is probably a little bit too yeah, too obstructed. Let's see what we've got over here. The 500E is just such great fun. You can just chuck it around, and it is, as I said, a great test for the collective. Something I've already found with even, you know, this just being the second flight, I felt that I had more control with the collective I'd noticed with my old throttle lever that quite often it felt that I couldn't quite get the sweet spot. I was either going up or down and trying to get to that point where you're coming in slow and landing, where it was just where I wanted it to be, was a bit tricky. And with this it just feels a little bit easier. You watch now, and I'll make a right old hash of it. So how are you getting on with 2024? Be very interested to know what is your experience of it so far. I know there's a lot of people that got refunds, a lot of people that are fed up with it. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting miracles, so I went into it with the point of view of I will buy it and I will wait for them to fix it and get everything sorted out, get everything perfect, and tinker with it in the meantime. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I've not got lots loaded in terms of third-party stuff. I wanted to get the 500D in for this test, but I'm just kind of taking it slowly. But I've got to say, today I'm seeing a difference compared to how it felt and how it was performing a couple of weeks ago. Let's not get too low, sunshine. I feel like I'm getting distracted by the water. I was getting a little bit hypnotised there. I'll be completely honest with you. I've just realised that we were actually doing hardly any speed at all, because I was focusing so much on not hitting the water. We'd actually almost come to a halt. Let's have a bounce over here. It's amazing how when you're making a video and you're talking, you kind of get a little bit distracted. But also, and I've said this before, for me flying helicopters is a little bit like meditation. And flying over the water there, as I was talking to you, I was looking at the waves, and I was obviously focusing on not hitting the water, but what I wasn't doing was looking at my speed. And there I was, just kind of hovering in a Zen state. I love the detail, it's so cool. Oh, hello. Oh, it's got a bit of a bank to it, maybe not. The detail is just quite incredible. I noticed I loaded in Chico Mix, excellent Duxford, which is working really well, by the way. Get that Duxford into your sim. It'll be ready for the warbirds. But I noticed the surrounding Asobo scenery. There was the texture in fields that we never used to have, and it really did look quite beautiful. The detail of that river. Good God. So we are... Look at that. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Kind of messed it up a little bit. I was hoping to come in a little bit lower, so we're going to have to come away. Yeah, those scratches on the canopy are quite distinctive, aren't they? I might have to have a look at that. There we go. I just did it there. Muscle memory wanted me to push it down. Yeah, dropped it a little bit too quickly then. I thought I was down, and then I lowered the collective quite quickly, and we were just probably a foot above where we should have been. But anyway, beautiful scenery. This would be a great place for Parallel 42 to just camp out. Let's have a look, see if I can see where we are on the map. So this is wow, I don't speak Gaelic, and this is going to murder it, so my apologies, but this is just the top of Loch Etive, Gwala Culane. That's not how it's probably pronounced, so apologies, but if you want to visit this spot, that's just up from there. It's beautiful, it's really nice. Right, let's focus on flying again. It is incredibly relaxing flying helicopters. There's something very, I don't know, you're having to really focus. So it's not relaxing from a muscle point of view. But it's relaxing in a kind of a mind point of view, because your mind is just focused so much on flying the helicopter that you yeah, it's very relaxing. Something else about 2024 is they've gone absolutely bonkers with the trees. Look at the wow, the stones down there. The trees everywhere. Cairngorms has got trees all over the top of the mountains, which isn't quite right, but hopefully that will get sorted out. And this is the stock trees, by the way. I don't even know if it works in it yet. I'm not using Rex AccuSeasons in it. This is just the default. Pretty much everything is default that I'm using, apart from the helicopter right now. That beep that you can hear, by the way, is the radar altimeter. Amazing, amazing detail. Oh, I used to think 2020 was good, but this just takes it to a whole new level, and I'm not a 2024 fanboy at all, by the way. There's some things on it that quite irritating, like controller setup, although having spent a bit more time looking at it and trying to understand the logic, I am kind of getting it a bit more. I think it's like a lot of things. You get used to one thing so much that when the next new thing comes along, you have to approach it in a different way. You can't just assume it's going to work the same way. See, there is probably a good example of what I was talking about. That there is shadow in the photo scenery, but it's that kind of quite a distinct green. At least it's not blue. Now, according to the map, we are approaching Skyfall Waterfall and Skyfall Scene. So I'm guessing this is where they must have done some filming. I don't know. This is the bit where the Aston is parked up. I suspect. Yes, I suspect it is. That spot there is where the Aston would have been parked up. Let's have a look. Yeah, that would have been the view. Up there. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Oh my lord. Let's not go there. My Sean Connery impression is almost as bad as my French language. Actually, I'd probably say it's worse. Let's be honest. I stopped being a good impressionist when I reached the age of probably about 9. That was probably just people being kind. Well done, little Robbie. Very funny. Very funny with your impressions. Another photographic point here, just marked as Glenetiv. This is rather nice though, isn't it? Right, so I've gone a little bit off track, and now I've got to fly with one hand while I try and move the map. Bear with me. There we go. Right. Steady on. Steady on, our boy. So we're going to weak around this corner here. Can't wait to get all these buttons set up. There's so many buttons. I can actually have a searchlight button set up now. It's going to be so cool in the H145. All I've really done so far is set up the starter and everything so that I could fly this. So I'll come back up around here. If you haven't tried helicopters, by the way, I really can recommend it. If you've got, you know, you could start like me. I started with a stick and standard stick. Got my TPR pedals, and I was using my Bravo throttle. And look at the detail on that river. My God. Sorry. I've been wanting to get a collective for some time, but they are quite expensive. And this channel is not monetized. I don't get any money from it, so I don't have an income from the channel to buy stuff to use in videos and that sort of thing. So I really kind of had to save up and think hard about spending out on the collective, because they are not cheap. But I'm so glad I did. I spend so much time flying in helicopters now that absolutely makes sense. This scenery is mind-blowing. The detail, it's so much better than it was in 2020. Unless I've just got rose-tinted glasses on. It's too many trees, but hopefully that'll get fixed. Oh, we've got some of the odd shadow thing going on there, where it's just the ground, there's nothing on it, it's just that kind of green colour, because the photo scenery presumably is dark shadow, so it's replaced it with green. Just coming over the Three Sisters viewpoint, and that's over there. Just noticed there we go. Yeah, you can see a strip of it there. Strip of shadow with like a dark green colour. Right, let's focus on the flying, boy. Focus on the flying. So we'll head up. Is that right? Yeah, we're going to head up here to Glencoe itself. You could just get your fly fishing rod out and go down there, couldn't you? It's funny, there's some things that they have done so well in this sim, as much as there's things that people don't like. There are things that they've done a great job on. No, I've just noticed, and the experts amongst you will be saying, what are you doing? I've not really been focusing on the engine instruments, but we appear to be over talking, and I'm not just talking about me. So that's something I need to have a look at, because it's unforgivable to have been flying like that. So I'm just gonna see. There we go. Surprised we've got an engine left after that. I guarantee you there'll be comments already from people saying he didn't even check his instruments. And you are absolutely right, and it's unforgivable to be flying around like that, completely over talking the engine. Very, very unprofessional. I was getting absolutely carried away there, and I had my collective a little bit too high. Just goes to show you got to be careful. There's a lot more to this than just whapping a big lever around. You've got to keep an eye on your instruments. I did say at the beginning it wasn't a tutorial. But I always like to think that because I'm honest about my mistakes, I will learn, I will remember, and maybe if you're a little like me and sometimes you get carried away, you will remember to keep an eye on the instruments as well. It's a nice little place, isn't it? tree. Oh, did it again. I just dipped the collective down when I wanted to go up. Gonna really have to watch that. Bouncy, bouncy. Made a complete hash of that. Let's come back around. And again. Focus. Did it end? Oh God, I was down and I just instinctively, my muscle memory pulled up on the collective. Oh, let's do that again. Isn't it strange? No, you're just stupid. See if we can walk it in a bit better this time. Done it again. Incredible. This is exactly what I was talking about before. There's something very strange about how the brain gets so wired to think. A completely different controller. Completely different controller. But at a critical moment, my brain is wired the wrong way. How very odd. Meanwhile, everyone in that hotel thinking, what the hell is he doing? There we go. Bit of a bumpy surface, but we settled down and missed the water, so that's good. So yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. It's kind of that muscle memory thing is something I'm going to have to get used to. Let's there we go. Yeah, that's something that I'm going to have to get used to. Just doing lots and lots of practice, getting the feel for it, getting the right positioning and all that kind of stuff. But my God, it's good fun. It's insane fun flying helicopters. If you haven't done it, please do give it a try, because it's great fun. Anyway, thanks for joining the flight, and apologies to anyone who has suffered stress from the engine instrument. I will be giving myself a very stern talking to afterwards. I was so focused on the scenery and the collective, in terms of the physical collective I'm talking about, that didn't even look at the instruments until I realised, my God, you're killing the engine. Anyway, won't do it again, I promise. Anyway, great to have you along, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.